Sam gave up dieting completely and lost 45 pounds. Most women think that weight loss means suffering, willpower, restriction. But Sam proved that that's backwards, and she did it during the most challenging period of her life. In this video, I'm going to break down what she did instead. The nutrition plan that killed food noise, the workout plan that just took 20 minutes 3 times per week, and the mindset strategies that helped her stop hiding and start thriving. So let me show you where Sam began, and if you are watching this thinking there is no hope for me, then keep watching because Sam thought the same. You see, when Sam joined us, she was at rock bottom. She just lost her job after 21 years, her mum got dementia and was moving to a care home, and on top of that, she was sitting at just under 200 pounds hiding her body. She was eating in secret, she was unfit, and to be honest, she was feeling completely hopeless about her weight. She tried every diet and they all worked for a couple of weeks. But at some point, the restriction would trigger the binges, the weight would come back on, and the cycle would continue, but each time getting worse and worse. So Sam made one decision. She gave herself a year, a non-negotiable commitment to future her. Sam was already in a hard position, and she did not want to make that harder by turning to food for comfort, by not moving her body or looking after herself. She didn't restrict herself into misery or force herself into the gym. Instead, she followed a simple system built on 4 pillars to get her weight under control. So let me pull back the curtains, show you how she lost the weight, and we will start with her nutrition plan. Pre-joining, food was out of control for Sam, and every diet she tried left her hungry, obsessing about food, and would therefore increase the food noise. And here's the problem that I see with most diets. They either obsess over calories and macros and have you weighing out every single thing you eat and living day to day in the MyFitnessPal app, or they push the clean eating philosophy, which makes you fearful of foods and you're terrified of anything that comes in a packet or is processed. One extreme can leave you miserable, but the other one keeps you guessing, so we meet in the middle. Calories for results, but food quality for fuel. And instead of cutting her calories down to 1200 per day, which most of them had done, we gave her more food. A calorie allowance that actually worked with her body at this stage of life, not against it. The thing is, if Sam could have adhered to 1200 calories per day, she would have lost weight at a much quicker rate than what she did working with us. But that's only if she could stick to it, and Sam's history told her that she couldn't. Because if you're restricted, then you're just going to end up hitting the screw it button and consuming way more than the 1200 calorie allowance you're meant to be sticking to. So we gave her a little bit more wiggle room, which meant that on her good days she wasn't starving, and on her challenging days where she was hungry, hormonal, had a lot of stress, she didn't blow past her calories by thousands like usual, she just had that inbuilt flexibility. And over the week, this massively reduced the huge swings in her intake, which ironically meant that over the course of the whole week, she was consuming far less than when she was trying to eat 1200 calories but had these massive swings. And this next rule might surprise you, but Sam was allowed to eat anything she wanted, just not everything. You see, when nothing is off limits, you don't feel deprived. But when everything is allowed all the time, you have no structure, so it's easy to go off the rails. So instead, we built healthy constraints in for Sam. She could have pizza if she wanted to on a Friday night. She could have chocolate after dinner if that was what she wished. But she had to tick the boxes first: protein, fiber, hydration. When you do this, you're not starving, you're not triggered, food noise is at a minimum, which means that when you do have the indulgent, you're far less likely to think, oh my God, I need everything, because you're actually fueled. And this part is important. On days that tracking felt like too much, whether that was a holiday or a stressful day or even the weekend, we gave her a mindful eating plan. And then we helped her plan ahead. What time are you going to be eating? What's on the menu? What are your hell yes indulgences? What are your boundaries for that meal? And when Sam graduated from the program, she said this: "For the first time in my life, I feel normal around food. No more secret eating and no more shame." The truth is, you don't need to be perfect, you just need to follow a system that doesn't feel like you're constantly punishing yourself. Now, the next pillar we focused on was movement. And the reality is, movement is less important for weight loss than most of us actually think. Nutrition is the biggest driver, but I don't want any of my clients to just lose weight. I want them to be more capable, stronger, more resilient. And when Sam joined us, she hadn't been to the gym in years, and she didn't need to. A lot of women go for the 0 to 100 approach, where they go from doing nothing to everything, which quickly leads to burnout. And we want to avoid that, but especially for our clients going through menopause, a time where you might already be dealing with fatigue, joint pain, disrupted sleep, and a body that feels like it's working against you. So Sam joined in on our live follow-along workouts on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They're 20 minutes long, and she did them from the comfort of her own living room. Resistance training to protect her muscle mass and prevent muscle atrophy, working to a full range of motion to improve mobility, and then a few sweaty circuits in there to improve CV health. Then throughout the day, we had a focus on steps. Because yes, this will increase your overall energy expenditure for the day, but you also get that mental clarity. And by staying consistent with her movement, Sam not only transformed her fitness, but she also completed a Tough Mudder race with myself and the team. So the woman who felt broken when she joined then ended up crawling through mud and beasting herself in an absolutely epic test of physical fitness. So you don't need hours in the gym, you just need 20 minutes, 2, 3, 4 times a week, and that is more than enough. And the third pillar was data. You see, a lot of women avoid the scales, they are terrified of that number. Or on the flip side, they obsess over it and let it completely ruin their day. Sam weighed herself regularly, but not emotionally. She tracked it as data, and over the 12 months we worked together, this graph tells the whole story. Now, we have a rule inside the program, just data, no complaints. You can be annoyed at fluctuations, right? That's just being human. But you can't let it change your behavior, and you can't kid yourself either. You see, day-to-day jumps, sure, they can be down to hormones, water retention, your digestion, but macro trends are an indicator of your adherence or lack thereof, and Sam was on board with that. She didn't blame the scale when it went up. She just looked at her week, reviewed what was working, and made iterations if they were needed. But she also tracked the non-scale victories, how her clothes were feeling, her freedom around food, getting up off the floor without holding on to something. These are the things that matter, and these keep you motivated. And the fourth pillar was accountability. The reality is, at some point, you don't need more information. You don't need another podcast, another video, another book. You need to implement, and accountability facilitates that. When someone is looking over your shoulder, you work much harder. So Sam showed up to our group accountability calls every Monday. She engaged in the Q&A. And when life got hard or she struggled, she reached out using her private coaching thread. Because when you go through this journey alone, it's easy to convince yourself that nothing is working or that it's too hard. But when you're accountable and you've got someone to call you out lovingly, then you can't hide. And you do stick with it. During the hardest year of Sam's life, where she lost her job and her mum was going through health complications, she lost weight. And that's because she had structure, support, and a plan. Now, the next part of Sam's success, and this is fundamental, was her mindset. Sure, in theory, fat loss is down to your calories in, calories out, but in practice, it's much more related to what's going on in between your ears. But before I get to that, let me just tell you something. You can follow the exact same process that Sam did for less than £12.50 or $16 each week. And I'm sure we can all agree that that is less than most people's weekly Starbucks habit. I won't bore you with the details, but if you want the same coaching, the same support, and the same no-nonsense approach that Sam had, then head to the comments and you can find out more for yourself. So let's get to the mindset shifts that made Sam unstoppable. And the first one is that she went to the mental gym and she lifted weights every single day. She trained her mind like a muscle, and that meant showing up when she didn't feel like it. Choosing future her over what her in the present moment needed right now. Logging her food when it wasn't perfect, going and getting her steps in the miserable weather. Sam didn't wait for motivation, she relied on discipline to see her through those hard days. The second shift was that she stopped making a hard situation even harder. She was at rock bottom and she could have said, you know what, I'm going to start when life calms down. But it never does it? There is always a reason to quit. And actually, if you wait for the perfect conditions to start, then that assumes that to maintain that loss, you have to have perfect conditions. I would much rather learn to manage my weight when shit hits the fan and then have it be easier day to day versus the other way around. The next shift was that she was proud of who she was at rock bottom. Sam could have been embarrassed by the woman who started this journey, the woman in the before photo, but she's proud of that version of herself who was struggling because she made a decision to start. Most people hate their past selves or are ashamed of who they were. And if that's you right now, you will not lose the weight by berating yourself. You will lose the weight by nourishing your body and believing that you deserve to feel good. So to recap, Sam gave up dieting. She gave herself permission to have more food. She tracked her progress, she leaned into the support available to her. She lost 45 pounds and she got her life back. And again, you can do the same. The details are in the comment section below. If you're not ready, that's okay, but please know that the longer you leave it, the harder it typically gets. In Sam's words, I can do this now and I'm not even worried about failing, because that just isn't an option for me. So if you want to make that same decision, then join us and click the link below.